الرحمن الرحيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. In fact, I got my PhD from the University of Khartoum, which had some connection with the University of London. Now to come to our subject. Peace is the natural condition in which people live. This is the natural condition. Now, this peace is disturbed only when some acts of aggression are committed. And when the other people see these acts of injustice committed, and they stand by and do not come to the help of the victim of aggression. This is the cause, these are the causes of non-peace in the world. That is why we read in a verse in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, we as Muslims, He says, وَإِن طَائِفَتَانِ مِنَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ اقْتَتَلُوا فَأَصْلِحُوا بَيْنَهُمَا. If two groups of Muslims fight, this shows you that even good people can fight each other. If two groups of Muslims fight each other, then reconcile them. If one of them insists on on aggression, then fight it until it submits to the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In this verse, you can see two important things. First, that jihad is mainly against aggression, even if that aggression is committed by Muslims. When I was in the United States, I used to keep telling people there, non-Muslims, that this is the case. It is not the case that jihad is against non-Muslims because they are non-Muslims. I tell them that if this was the case, you wouldn't have seen any Muslims and any non-Muslims in the Muslim world. And Brother Bilal Phillips told you about history, how non-Muslims lived peacefully in Muslim societies. You don't have to go to history. Go to Egypt, go to my country, the Sudan, go almost every country in the Arab world, and you find Christians and Jews who have been living among Muslims for hundreds of years. So to say that jihad is against non-Muslims because they are non-Muslims is false. To say that Islam is spread by the sword is very stupid, because Islam is something in the heart. The Prophet ﷺ did not come to tell people just to say La ilaha illallah. He came to tell them how to believe in Allah, and that belief cannot be, no one can be forced to have a belief like this in his heart by being threatened by a sword. Yes, by the sword he can say La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah and remain a non-Muslim. That is not the object of Islam. The other thing in this verse you can see is that fighting can be for the sake of peace. This is fighting to achieve peace. Why? Because some people are aggressors, and whatever you tell them, you advise them, you talk to them, they insist. What can you do? You can't. If every people became pacifists and they just watch these people committing this aggression, then aggression would increase in the world and everyone will be very unhappy. So those who commit aggression have to be stopped by whatever means that are available to people. We read in another verse in the Quran also about the connection between peace and justice. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells Muslims, وَلَا يَجْرِمَنَّكُمْ شَنَآنُ قَوْمٍ أَنْ صَدُّوكُمْ عَنِ الْمَسْجِدِ الْحَرَامِ أَنْ تَعْتَدُوا. Let not yet your hatred over people who prevented you from going to the holy mosque to commit aggression. You see, this Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling Muslims, these are Muslims, these people are their enemies, they prevented them unjustly from visiting Mecca, but in spite of this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told the Muslims to be just. Commenting on this verse, or another verse in the same surah, اعدله أقرب للتقوى, Ibn Kathir said something very important. He said that adl, justice, is obligatory on every person, with every person, on every occasion. So for us Muslims, justice is something absolute. We don't practice justice just among ourselves, but we practice justice, we become just even when we are dealing with non-Muslims. So if we want to establish peace in the world, we should spread this value, the important value of justice. You see, every good value has its roots in the human heart. So we need only to encourage children, even when they are children, at home, at school. We tell them about justice, even when they deal with each other, when they deal with their parents, when they deal with their neighbors, and so on. Spread this value of justice, and in this way, inshallah, you will help to make the world more peaceful. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.